All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today's Friday, January 3rd, 2025. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Putting out 2 videos a day every single day. It's not a holiday or a weekend, although we do Sunday night videos now too. So I'm sure you'll like the content. But again, subscribe, comment, and come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. I'll have an update also over the weekend, actually Monday, on the Carnivore course, which is pretty much pure TA course with market psychology mixed in. And there'll be a little sale on Monday, so stay tuned for that. I have a lot of updates that I just included, I think like almost an hour worth of material. And that's already like a 6-hour course, I think, on top of that. So stay tuned. Wanted to update it because it's been out for 2 years. So good stuff there. Anyway, probably good timing for me to have done that too, because there is, let's get into it today, but might even follow a little bit different format today, because there is like I read a book about the amount of stuff, the amount of learning material that took place this week. So let's start off here with price action today. So Spider's up 1.25, triple Q's up 1.6, Russell up 1.5, and the Dow up just under 80 basis points here. What did we get today? I would call it, and I mentioned it a little bit yesterday, and it's a kind of a rare setup. It doesn't happen all that often, but it almost happened 2 days in a row. But we call it like a gap and trap, right? So everybody knows gap and crap, where you gap up. We don't have any examples of it here, but you gap up and then you crap out, right? We didn't really have, they kind of had it here. It's not big enough of a gap, but we almost had it yesterday. Gap down, sell, don't fill the gap, and then you rally up and trap, right? But today was opposite, right? So gap up, inside bar, and we took off to new highs. Why did this happen? Well, first of all, I want to talk about really like what the psychology of today was. And I called this out in my Discord last night, and really what it came down to for me, I've seen this set up many times, but what it comes down to for me is when you gap higher like this and you sell off at exactly 11 a.m. and then you do the same exact thing, 11 a.m. outside move, opening range break, 2 days in a row, and you gap up a third day, it's almost never ever gonna actually make a new low that's that third day. Why? Because you're conditioning retail to sell the rip, right? And that's exactly what happened here. I brought this up in the chat and said, look, a couple things everyone should make note of. We gapped higher, sold off 2 days to two new lows 2 days in a row. If 59.25 ES reclaims and squeezes overnight, chances of making new lows tomorrow next to zero. They aren't going to run the same playbook 3 days in a row. So if they try to fade a gap up tomorrow, chances are the dip will get bought and will squeeze again. And some examples here that I talked about previously. August 7th is one of my favorite calls of last year. I said this is the most bullish close on August 7th, and then 1.5 also Jan 5th. 2 really good examples of that. So gap and trap, you're conditioning retail to just short, and you're like, bulls are like, oh no, we're going down again. They stop out off that opening range break. They take it the other way. A couple of other things too. So I'll get into it. There's a million things I could bring up here, but 3 things I really want to hit on. People in the trading room are probably sick of me saying this, but I'm saying it all day. What's the difference here between these two and this? And this is a 10-minute chart, by the way. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with this moving average. It's the 100. We gap up here, small gap below the 50 and the 20, sell. Up here, through the 100, back test, resistance, right? And it sells off. Down. What do we do today? Gapped above the 100, right? And we held it 3 times. We also have, it's called the bullish inside bar, right? Big mother candle inside, and small candles inside of it, higher lows. Told us we were going to go higher, likely, right? Many other things there too. Gamma 5950, you talked about this in the short video. That was going to be a target. And again, 5900 held. We got the gamma flip there and we went up. So a lot of little teachers here. Another one. I talk about this all the time. You guys know the channel. I'm going to say it right here. You guys can already figure it out right now. What was this doing yesterday? SMH. This has been better than the Dow Transports as a leading indicator for 20 years. People only think it has been in the last year. They're wrong. It's been the leading indicator for the last 2 decades. This was green yesterday. Qs and the spiders were down. Everybody was ready to throw themselves off a cliff yesterday. Qs finished down 20 basis points yesterday, right? That's it. SMH was green. What's the other one? Russell was green each of the last 3 days. Spiders are down. Small caps, right? Should be selling off if it's really risk off. It's truly risk off. Small caps should be selling off and semis should be selling off. Neither of those things were confirming. Additionally, let's look at crypto here too. Bitcoin, green each of the last 4 days. Pepe, right? Cardano up 15% today. Matic, Solana, XRP, Litecoin, Polkadot, Doge up 12%, ETH up 4.5%. Everyone's favorite. I've been talking about this all week. And I can't type it in. No, I'm messing everything up now. See, they don't want you to know the secrets. They're trying to get me messed up here. But, Fartcoin, 40% yesterday. That means there's liquidity out there, right? It's liquid as rainwater. That's not liquidity coming out when you see that. So, other things to look for. Looking at the Qs. And, just nice 4-hour, NQ. 4-hour, divergence there. Again, not doesn't tell the whole story. Divergences can go on a little bit longer. But when you see all these other things adding up, there's the ES. You see it there on the Russell. Nicely playing out now, and on the daily as well. It told us we were probably going to be, going up at some point here. Now, those are all really things, just massive gold nuggets here. I think everybody should make note of those. The last thing I'll say, because I know my resident bears in the comments, don't worry, I got stuff for you too, but they're going to be like, oh, well, if Monday we're down, right? If Monday we're down, they're going to, oh, see, Aaron, you spoke too soon, blah, blah, blah. This is the other thing. So made a nice chunk here on ES today to start the year off. Scale out on the way up, level to level, right? Take profits, take profits, take profits. Now, Monday, if that does happen, yeah, that's risk-free. If the bears come back in Monday, that's fine. I'll just, take a break even or a small loss on the runner, which it's embedded profit anyway, because it's a smaller position now, and go from there. Or, we rip up to the upside Monday and great, we make more money. So all those things here, these going 8 minutes already and I haven't even gotten to the charts. But I think there was a lot to be learned here this week, especially psychology-wise. One last thing too. Like 5 days of selling didn't even take out the FOMC low. So look at the risk reward here, or look at the reward for the bears versus how much work they had to do just to get that. By the way, we never took out that trend line. Right, so for as much as it seemed like we were down 10, 20%, we barely even scratched the FOMC low. Another thing too, I shared this on Twitter. I'm just gonna give you everything here. I'm going to use volume profile just because it's easier for people to see and understand. But a lot of people are talking about, but what about all the bears that are, or what about all the bulls that are trapped at 6,000 to 6,100? Yeah, they are, but look at all the bears that are trapped that shorted the election, right? And shorted down here and shorted right here. That's why that gap ain't filling. Because they're not going to give the bears that chance to get out. Now they might, if we come down and make a lower high, that might happen, but they're not going to make it easy. So I know the bears were looking for a sell today, a sharp sell so that they could cover. And even the fresh bears, they were looking for that. And that's why somebody asked in the trading room earlier, I was like, what? They said, like, what if we just had elevator sell today? I was like, I don't think we're going to, because everybody wants that, right? And bulls want it too, right? Because they want to buy the most oversold. And so, anyway, 10-minute video already, but we'll cover the levels. I'll try to be as quick as possible so we can get to our weekend. I'll do the Sunday night video. I'll get a little bit more precise. But bottom line here is 59.50 is still resistance. Bears defended that by the end of the day. But there's plenty of room now for higher lows. We also have higher highs intraday and on daily. So bulls can work off of this pivot with a higher low here. If we get through that, we're going to 6K. Simple as that. That's major resistance. So that's all we need to worry about in the short term. And honestly, I think we're at an interesting situation where bulls and bears actually should want the same thing. I think you want 6,000 like right away if you're a bear. You don't want you don't want us to pull back here and then do this into it, because then we're going to have more of a base. Like, you want us to just get overbought into it. So that's kind of my thought process there. By the way, speaking of, I had the weekly there for a second. Again, to my point earlier, all that commotion, all that, jump cliff diving, all he did was touch the weekly 20 MA. So anyway, 59.50, 6K. QQQ basically got to our intraday level. I said max move today this morning would be 520, 519.64. We're coming back into this trend line here. Okay, so watch that. That's going to be around 525. That should be major. Russell 2000, you already know it's 225. We get through this, it's not going to take long to get to 230, maybe even a day. Like, might even just get there in a day. And then you've got the trend line above that. The Dow is interesting because we didn't bounce that much today, but we'll have to see if we follow through and we break back above, I would just say if we break back above this line here and the 100 MA, we'll call it, I'm going to move this trend line up because I'm just going to say that's a tag now. So that's something else you have to do too, is you got to go where the market wants. Like, I drew this trend line there. That's just an arbitrary line I drew, but I go where the market's going. So I'll inch it up a little bit. But Dow hanging in there, looks good. SMH, I've been saying this forever. Above 250 can go to 260. So it hasn't really confirmed. You still haven't confirmed a higher high yet. But I talked about this all last week. Like, look at how we're not going back down for this trend line after this hit here, and we've traded through this a bunch, but it's still respecting. Like, I know I've got 2 lines there, but look at how the market's respecting it, right? Look at the back. If you don't believe me, look at that back test right there. So I'm leaving them both on for right now, but it looks good. And star of the show, NVDA, I told you above 140, you're going to 150. So dealers hedged up pretty nicely here. I think this will make a new all-time high soon. I don't know if it's going to follow through, but I think it'll make a new all-time high. By the way, Apple, I think Buffett's selling, but I don't really care. I think this is, everybody's looking for 237. By the way, I've seen that probably 10 times today, so it probably doesn't get there, but take a look at that trend line. A few others here. Tesla, was really hoping for 360 today. Didn't get there. Nice pop. I just say 420 for now, and then I think 435 or 440. I don't remember. Little other recap too. How about MSTR? I told you guys on Thursday I like that. That's only up 15% in 2 days. So again, I was hoping that would drop a little bit too, but nice move there. IGV, again, head and shoulders, technically closed below the neckline. It failed. By the way, spiders, yeah, it pierced the trend line, but it didn't close below. Again, it's why I don't love those patterns. They trap a lot. Transport's up 1.1. 200 MA's holding. I think this can try it and retest 16.2 and then maybe 16.6. All right, I'm going to try and go quick here. I know there's a lot to get through. Rates, still got a bull inside bar on the 2s, 5s, 30s not so much, and 10s and 30s not so much, but the trend is up. And there is no problem with this chart. None. Again, 20 MA catches up, it can go higher. So that's your real risk here. But watch for the 2s to come down. If this fails here, Twos come down and long end stays firm. That's where the risk is in the market, but I don't think we're quite there yet. But it's certainly there. It's certainly there. I see the bear case. Don't get me wrong. It's possible, and I'll be looking for it. But near term, still buying dips right now. But again, scaling out on the way up. XHB up 1 1/4. Decent bounce. Nothing great. Might be a little seller exhaustion here. That might need to come back up a little bit. VNQ finally had a firm day. So nice job there. We'll see if that can come back up to 92. Fins were interesting today. Not so much XLF. Resistance still 49.33. But look at KRE. I pointed this out in the trading room first thing in this morning. This is what we call a liquidity grab. Beautiful, like perfect. Hit that trend line, and you could have seen it first thing this morning, but RSI was still divergent there on the daily and the 4-hour. Beautiful. I mean, that's a textbook liquidity grab. So I think this still wants to get up to 64, and then KBE I think can go to 58 or so. These are just short-term, near-term levels. A nice job on those fins. And broker dealers starting to firm up a little bit more. Looks like we're getting close to a daily higher high. Weekly is still fine. Monthly is still parabolic, which is a danger. If you didn't check out my article on oil, go do it. It's on my website, carnivoretrades.com, under Market Insights. And you guys know I've been calling for Q1 rally. That looks like that's just confirmed above the 200. So looks good. Weekly, kind of a bear flag. It might be failing. I don't really have any levels here, honestly, though. So, like 76. I guess we'll just go there. It's hard when something is in a range for this long. Yeah, let's just say 75 is a 618. I'm not trading it. I prefer trading it through XLE, as you guys know. I have this long. Up 81 cents. Look at XOP again. Gapped above the 20 MA. So this should have been major because it was the first hit after an extension. So meaning we could pull back, but when you gap through a major resistance, it means get out of the way. And it's up again today. OIH up 1.13. No new high though. Uranium, CCJ up 1.84. Didn't quite get down to that 50 handle, but maybe it doesn't need to. It might just be bullish. Look at the NM, up nicely today. And NJ, same thing, up 9 cents here. So we knew there was going to be support right around this area. Didn't quite get down to the 18 handle. Nat gas down 8%. Maybe this is finally done here. Let me check the G. Sorry. That might get supported here at 3:30 tomorrow. We'll see. Nat gas does what it wants, though. Like, you have to be aggressive and you have to be quick. And go small, because nat gas can run you over. So I'd say like maybe 325 tomorrow could get interesting. I don't know. I'm not touching it. Dollar index, again, resistance at our level. We had this line drawn in here for 3 years, and there it is. It hit. And you hit the 6182. So dollar coming back in may have helped stabilize the market a little bit today from a macro standpoint, if you're looking for a macro reason. Again, the market doesn't mind the dollar rising, but when it spikes like that, it doesn't like it. Same thing if it were spiking down, and the same thing goes for yields too. So just remember that stuff. That doesn't mind going up, it's just speed. Gold down, maybe because the market is up a little bit, more stability here today, just backing off. But take a look at silver. Silver green. Watching that big falling wedge. Platinum, again, look, what a trap. What a double trap here. So far, we'll see if it can follow through. It looks just like copper did that one time. Look at this. Look at this, ridiculous. Like, that is just, I'm glad I don't really trade this that often, because that is unfair. By the way, look at, they're doing the thing. So I said, watch them break it back above 410. If it does, it could liquidity grab up. But it hasn't yet. And then palladium, so I skipped over that. Up 1.2. So gold was really down today, but the other metals were up. That to me says it's a little bit more towards like the market's kind of breathing a sigh of relief because gold is down. We talked about crypto, but I'll just quickly look at Bitcoin up 1%. Again, you guys know the resistance. It's not hard to see, is it? Here's your range. A lot of the time, a break of this, when you're in a range very tight, the first break is fake, just as we just saw with platinum and copper. And like everybody's looking at this 100,000 and 91, right? So if you were to like spike that, I think people would jump in short or stop out. And likewise here up, I think it's probably not ready yet. The reason why I know it's not ready is because why? Yeah, you got it. Weekly 20 MA. So I think they might trap to the upside, but then break it out again a few weeks later, possibly. ETH though, nice curl here, nice curl back up. Again, I'm not in Bitcoin or ETH right now from swing perspective, but yeah, nice bounce. And again, I told you guys recently, look at the monthly. Not bad. You zoom out. There's another thing too, another lesson. Zoom out. Right. There's you know, I had to do a lot of coaching this week in the trading room. And I was like, look at, you know, I'm down 5 days in a row, but zoom out. Did we do anything on the weekly? No. You know, just relax here. We'll get through it. So anyways, a little long of a video, but I think there's good stuff in there. Hopefully everybody watched it, enjoyed it. If you did, drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. And again, come find me on carnivoretrades.com. It's going to be an awesome year, and I'm looking forward to it. So anyways, you guys take care. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys all for the Sunday night video.